All right, so Kumina is one of our ancestral practices. However, while the world may find this religious practice fascinating, there are a few who are still questioning this ritual. Joining us now is Kumina drummer Nicholas Allen and researcher Dr. Maria Smith, as well as filmmaker and lawyer Neisha Leng, who I'm happy that she's here with us because she should have spoken to us on the phone. And because of us, she missed our flight. Well, not because of us, but she missed her flight and she decided to come in. Great to meet you. That's Neisha right there.
Good morning.
I don't need to tell you who is Nicholas. Well, maybe I do. See Nicholas,
well,
right?
This is 2020. You need to show people, you know.
Here's Dr. Maria. Dr. Maria, morning, everyone. Welcome to Smile
morning.
Jamaica, and we're really happy that you could come in and see us. What's Kumina?
It's one of our practices, traditional practice, and it is really mainly associated with St. Thomas.
Is what, dance, music? What is it?
It's a total form which includes music, dance, rituals, and which embrace, that a kind of worldview and a way of life.
Is it a religion?
It is a religion. It's a religion. It comes from African religion, because if you look at
Where in Africa, Dr. Smith?
the Congo
origin, Congo.
region, and because a number of ex-slaves or people who came in even after slavery went to live in the area, in the parish of St.
So do we have
St. Thomas.
Kumina churches now and stuff?
We have Kumina, I would want to say, he might say different, but I would want to say yards. But also that some church practice a bit of Kumina, a little Kumina.
Let's go to you, drummer Nicholas. You are a Kumina drummer.
Yes, I am.
Take us through drumming the Kumina. Tell us about the rhythmic pattern and the spirit that it evokes when you are drumming, and with whom
All right.
when you're drumming.
Well, there are two drums. Sometimes they use three. Two of them play bass, and one is the lead drum, which is what we call a plain cast. Now,
What do you call it?
plain cast.
Playing cast.
Now, the bando, which is the bass, it gives a one-drop type of beat, while the cast is the whistling. So that the cast is really the one that you would say evoke the spirits, right? But for me, the spirits, not every time you play, spirits are evoked per se. Because as Doctor said, it is not really a religion per se for me, because there's no church or any, let's say, building that
Could
you
we
worship.
then refer to it then in this context as a spirituality, an African way of life and spirituality? But I mean, then you have to go into what really is a religion. Do religious groups need a church? As you say, so a religion can have a yard, a temple. So however you want to refer to it, you don't see it as a religion though.
Well,
It is for you.
normally in religion, there's somebody that you worship or something that you worship.
Okay.
There's nothing like that.
When you say evoke the spirit, what happens when you say it evokes the spirit? What happens?
people get in mayal, what we call mayal.
Which
Mai?
is
Mayal.
Mayal.
It is like a state of trance where they are not really in control of what is happening. So people have to prevent them from harming themselves, throwing themselves on the ground, dancing uncontrollably.
And that is brought about why? Because of the drumming.
The
and stuff?
drumming. However, because I've experienced where people are dancing in the dance hall and they get in that same spirit as well.
You get caught up in the music.
Right.
And
Even in the church, the church itself.
Oh, we've seen that.
Pentecostal church, and people have to hold down the members. I mean,
We're
preventing
going to
them
come back to you because you're a part of the culture. I really would like to hear from our filmmaker, who I know, Nyasha.
Yeah, sure.
Nyasha. I know you've done a lot of research. Tell me all of your research in like 3 minutes to really explain the culture of Kumina.
Well, my research has been based on other research done over the years, some of which is no longer, being shared about the roots, the linguistic roots of Kumina, the geographical roots, Congo region, and how it's practiced, how it's maintained through lineage, through families, most of whom from St. Thomas, but also there are other communities that practice forms that are similar or connected to Kumina, such as revival, and then rhythms similar, such as tambu. So all of that research has been really to understand the evolution of Kumina.
Why? Why?
Well, it's I'll just say, because this is a news show, I think it's quite urgent, right? When you have a form that is so beloved by Jamaicans and is so widely practiced but not known about, it's really urgent to preserve it, even if it won't continue in the same form that it came to the country in.
Some people think, just like how he mentioned, Nicholas mentioned about the spirit. Some people think, well, this is an Obia thing and all kinds of stuff.
Dr. Smith?
I think we have to look at it in terms of where Kumina came from. We have different religions across the world, and there's African religion, and we have to look at what is the center of African religion. And in the same way that Christianity has a base, Christ and the crucifixion, in African religion, it's about communicating with the ancestors, respecting and paying reverence to the ancestor. And that is, you have to look at that base in order to understand Kumina.
And I wanted to just say, from my experience with African spirituality, I know that evoking the ancestral spirit is not a negative thing. You can evoke the positive spirits of your ancestors. Let's talk about Queenie. What you know about Queenie?
I know a few things about Queenie. I'd love to know more. And one of the things I've been doing over these years is to really unearth the archives. Some of them, unfortunately, are not available, but in libraries and in institutions like the Smithsonian around the world, Queenie is present. Queenie left her imprint. She was a healer. She was a dancer. She was a Kumina practitioner. And
she was Jamaican.
And she was Jamaican.
Yeah.
And from St. Thomas.
Yeah. In what you do you come to a conclusion about this, or do you just share what's happening with Kumina? Do you come to a conclusion and say, well, it's not Obia, it is this, it's not church, it's that, or do you just share everything?
Well, it was easy for me because of my interest in ancestral practices, originating in Africa, to say this is not Obia. The difference is clear, right? What some practitioners will tell you, it's really just the purpose, the intention behind the practice. So it's not that Kumina or even revivalism couldn't be used for purposes to harm, but that's not the way that most people practice it. It's really a reverence for the ancestors and a celebration of life.
And I just have to ask you all, why do people think Obia is such a bad thing? Like, why is Obia bad?
I don't know, but people call anything that they don't understand Obia.
Right,
yes,
right.
If you do a ritual and you walk around the circle 3 times, or
them say evil.
It's Obia, because they don't understand why you're going around the circle, that the whole business of the circle is about the continuity of life and that the ancestors are a part of
Empress
this
just said that some people think it's a bad thing. Is Obia a good thing?
To be honest with you, I never discuss Obia, because so many things are called Obias. I don't
You have to be clear when we say what is Obia. The other real question here, if we're going, this will probably take days. It's like asking if Christianity is a good thing when they use the Bible to rape us and beat us. Under that umbrella, one of the most wickedest institutions, when you look at a lot of the pedophiles within the Catholic group under that umbrella, you would have to ask yourself, can we say the religion is bad? Or is it just that people are bad? And I want to just declare people are bad. But we do need cultural preservation. Can I ask you all, what do you think we need to do to preserve Kumina, and why is it most important that it is a part of our story when we're speaking to our children? Please, I would like you all to, Nicholas.
Well, first we have to remove the stigma. The stigma that it is bad, and about the myth, a lot of the myth that perpetuate throughout the years about people climbing tree back way or upside down and climbing banana leaf and those stuff.
But what's wrong with that? Jesus walked on water.
I think...
But how did you end up being a Kumina drummer?
Well, my mother used to practice. My mother was a part of a group, so I basically grew up playing the drum.
So where do you play? When do you play? Where do you play? What
We
do you play?
all right, we play at dead yards, like set up 9 night. Sometimes there are people in St. Thomas that do Kumina as an annual event for their family, because it's a celebration, as Nyasha said earlier. It's a celebration and it brings people together. Also, we have started this Tambo Fest, myself and Gabo, in partnership with the University of Pennsylvania. We have started this Tambo Fest event that, as a means of preserving...
That's it right there. We're looking at, right?
As a means of preserving the culture and educating. So we try to, during that event, we try to have a segment where we inform people and we speak about some of the traditional stuff that people may not have known, and the meaning of some of the dances and the language, the drumming. So we try to educate as well as...
You're a young person yourself, but are young people involved? Are the youngsters involved here?
A lot of youngsters. St. Thomas people, while some people are still afraid of Kumina or are not associated because they're kind of more Eurocentric in their mindset, there are a lot of young people who are in love with it. Like, if there's a dead yard funeral tomorrow, a lot of people will not go if there's no drum being played, if the Kumina is not happening.
Okay.
Very interesting. I mean, it looks, I always love seeing it. But this is big for tourism, too. We really need to put St. Thomas on the map for people to come. Dr. Smith, we're going to give you both a last
on the part of
word.
We have to educate our children. We need to take culture more seriously on the curriculum, because even in when you look at Kumina, there's a history that tells us about our background, our people. The music and dance represents who we are. I mean, this is the music that we love. This is a music that has lived for hundreds of years and now informs popular music. So we need to teach it in our schools. We need to teach our children about these forms.
Right.
Last word, my lady.
I would really just echo, and I think more than anything to celebrate and respect the people who, from the communities from whom this tradition comes.
Yeah, respect.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Again, I'm sorry that you missed your flight. I hope you get through today.
And I'm sorry that you didn't bring your drums.
Next time.
All right.
Next time, Nico, don't come here without your drums.
Kumina drummer Nicholas Allen, Dr. Maria Smith, researcher at UNESCO, and filmmaker and lawyer Nyasha.
Sorry, talk about UNESCO. Congratulations. Yesterday, Dr. Smith led a really great program where 29 young women were able to receive a certificate in beauty cosmetology from the Heart Trust NTA as a part of the UNESCO Jamaica program. Congratulations on leading that. I was so happy to see them. We're doing good work in Jamaica, and more than good work, we're a little dot and we're big in reggae all across the world. We set the tone, so still to come, Reggae Mod 2020. We'll hear all the details after the break. Stay with us. News in 5 is next.
Soon come.